This is CBS News Chicago.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dana Kozlov.
And I'm Adrina Sinclair. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. Now at 9, a 13-year-old shot and killed in an Inglewood home. Chicago police say they're now questioning a person of interest as they work to figure out what happened.
And a potential break in the case of a woman who's been missing for more than 40 years. What divers found that could lead to some answers.
But let's begin with your first alert forecast. Feeling a little less windy today, but it's still cool out there. But we are seeing a few peaks of the sunshine, which is nice.
We love, do we not? Let's turn to meteorologist Laura Bannon now for more on that.
We love it very much.
We love it.
Yes. We are seeing some glimmers of sunshine here or there. Live look over Grant Park, where that's one of the places. If we go farther off toward the south and west, though, we've got some thicker clouds. 39 degrees right now, feels like 35. Less wind coming in from the northwest. We still have that chilly breeze, that reinforcing push of cool air here today, but lots of clouds, especially if you head toward the south and west, and that's where we've had some light showers, some flurries in the mix there. Eventually going to be tapering off, moving on out of here, and as it does so, we'll see some more sunshine going into your afternoon. Chilly now in the Loop, 38 in the Loop, 39 Aurora, there we go, 41 Joliet and Valparaiso, it's 34. Afternoon readings upper 40s and low 50s.
All right, Laura, thank you. Well, now we turn to your nonstop news. A 13-year-old boy was shot and killed inside of a home in Inglewood.
Marissa Perlman is live near where it happened, trying to learn more about what led up to this shooting. Good morning, Marissa.
Good morning to you both. Yeah, this 13-year-old's life cut short, and we have just learned earlier this morning the identity of that teen boy, 13-year-old Tawan Tribble. Now, Chicago police are questioning a person of interest. Police have not said, though, what circumstances led up to that shooting, only that a gun was discharged around 6:45 last night. Police say the 13-year-old was inside the home near 65th and Stewart when someone fired a gun, striking the teen in the chest. The boy was taken to Comer Children's Hospital, where he died. Now, just last week in the Greater Grand Crossing neighborhood, we know two young boys, ages 8 and 5, were shot, and one of them died after police say their dad left a loaded handgun on a TV stand. The police report doesn't say who fired the gun. The boy's father was arrested on child endangerment and weapons charges. We know 3 other young kids were inside that home at the time. But again, here in Englewood, area detectives are questioning a person of interest as the investigation continues. Whether an official arrest has been made has not yet been clear. We're going to be checking in with police throughout the morning. We'll bring you the latest as soon as more information comes down. For now, we're live in Englewood. I'm Marissa Perlman, CBS News Chicago.
Okay, Marissa, thank you. And police are investigating a stabbing in the Loop last night. Police say a 30-year-old man was stabbed several times around 9 near the CTA Blue Line stop at Clark and Lake. Officers tell us the victim got into an argument with 2 other men, and one of those men attacked the victim and then ran off. The 30-year-old is now in critical condition.
And search crews believe they found the car belonging to a woman who's been missing since 1983. Crews say they will be pulling that car out of the Fox River right after their news conference set for 10 this morning, so in less than an hour from now. Elgin police and a group called Chaos Divers began a new search for Karen Sheepers after a theory that she drove into the water. She was last seen at a bar in Carpentersville. Again, that was more than 40 years ago.
Over the course of the investigation, we don't really know if the waters were searched at any point. There's no proper documentation on that, at least from what we can find. So part of this is that we want to make sure that we are doing as thorough of an investigation as possible to make sure that we're searching.
Investigators have not said if there were any human remains in that car. Coming up at 9:30, we hear from Karen's older brother, who says he's still hoping for some answers.
And look at this scene this morning downtown. An SUV crashed into a corner bakery. It happened just before 5 a.m. at Wells and Washington. Chicago police say a man in another car was headed southbound on Wells, ran a red light, and hit this car. The SUV then smashed into the building. Luckily, no one was hurt. The driver who caused the crash will be cited.
And we were keeping an eye on your world this morning, and Israel is reportedly making plans for a major new ground offensive in the Gaza Strip.
It could involve sending tens of thousands of troops into combat to clear and, for the first time, occupy large areas of the enclave long term. The talks mediated by Egypt and Qatar to revive the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas have intensified over the past few days. In fact, one source told CNN the leak of Israel's plans for a new ground offensive was intentional to try and apply pressure to Hamas at the negotiating table. But the plan is real, and it's drawing criticism from Israel's allies.
Resuming negotiations is the only feasible way to end the suffering on all sides. Violence feeds more violence.
It appears unlikely the Israeli public would be supportive of a full-scale resumption of the war. Numerous polls have shown a large majority would prefer the government negotiate a deal to release all remaining hostages and withdraw from Gaza.
And Israeli settlers reportedly beat a Palestinian film director who won this year's Oscar for Best Documentary. Friends and witnesses say that Hamdan Bilal was beaten outside his home in the West Bank. Bilal's co-director says around 24 settlers attacked his village shortly after residents broke the daily fast for Ramadan. He says Bilal was beaten and then taken in handcuffs into a military vehicle. A lawyer representing Bilal and 2 other Palestinians detained say that he was taken to a military base for treatment. They have since been released. Bilal won an Oscar for his film No Other Land, which documents the demolition of villages in the West Bank by the Israeli military.
No, don't do that.
In another incident outside of Bilal's home, video shows a group of Palestinian activists being attacked by Israeli settlers. You can hear someone shouting, "Go away from here." One of the activists says a group of settlers confronted them with stones and sticks, smashing their car windows and slashing tires. The Israeli military did not address this attack or the reports of Bilal being beaten, only saying it detained 3 Palestinians and 1 Israeli citizen involved in a violent confrontation. Now, Israel captured the West Bank in the 1967 Mideast War, along with the Gaza Strip and East Jerusalem. The Palestinians want all 3 for their future state and view settlement growth as a major obstacle to a 2-state resolution.
Nearly 90 people are hurt, 17 of them children, after Russian strikes on the Ukrainian city of Sumy. The hits came while Russian negotiators held ceasefire talks with the U.S. and Saudi Arabia. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says a school and block of residential buildings appeared to be the target of the strikes. And members of Congress are demanding answers after a journalist reported he was accidentally added to a group chat with top U.S. officials, and they were discussing highly sensitive military plans.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is now slamming that Atlantic magazine article outlining this, but the National Security Council is telling CBS News the messages seem to be authentic. Lots to sort out here. Here's CBS News' Derek Waller with more.
Lawmakers from both parties are calling for an investigation after that bombshell report claiming top Trump administration officials mistakenly shared plans for an imminent attack on Houthi targets in Yemen on the encrypted messaging app Signal with a journalist.
This is egregious irresponsibility at the very highest levels.
It's a concern, and we're going to look into it.
Monday, The Atlantic's Jeffrey Goldberg published an article claiming he was accidentally added to that 18-person group chat by an account sharing the name of National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. The chat appeared to also include Vice President J.D. Vance and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
I found it completely improbable that the top national security leadership of the United States would be discussing on a commercial messaging app the possible imminent attack on another country.
The National Security Council later told CBS News a thread included in Goldberg's article appears to be authentic. Still, Hegseth denied it.
So this is a guy that peddles in garbage. Nobody was texting war plans.
President Donald Trump was asked about the report shortly after it was published.
I don't know anything about it. I'm not a big fan of The Atlantic.
Later, the White House added that the president continues to have confidence in his national security team and advisor. Derek Waller, CBS News.
Now, some Republicans are not pushing to demand an investigation. Republican Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana downplayed the threat, calling it inside baseball. And Speaker Mike Johnson said he was confident the administration would make sure that it didn't happen again. But on the flip side, Illinois Democratic Congressman Jonathan Jackson calling for Secretary Hegseth's resignation. In a statement, he said the mishandling of war plans cannot be excused or swept under the rug. He also says other top cabinet officials involved should step down.
Luigi Mangione, the man charged with gunning down the CEO of United Healthcare last year, is requesting permission to use a laptop while in federal custody. Mangione's lawyer proposes he has access to a laptop in order to view a vast amount of documents, videos, and other materials relating to his case. Now, there would be a lot of restrictions on sites he could visit if he were to gain access.
Well, Chicago is gearing up for a very busy concert season.
Next, the warning from the Better Business Bureau so you don't get scammed when buying tickets.
And a Chicago nonprofit working to make the arts available for everyone. The founder of Fame Center joining us live to talk about her mission and how you can help out.
And we've got some rain that's coming this way later this week. We'll time out those shower and thunderstorm chances and look ahead toward the warmer weather we'll feel by Friday coming up here shortly.
Welcome back, everyone. A Chicago nonprofit is holding a fundraiser this weekend to support its mission of making the arts more accessible.
It's called Fame Center. It's right in the South Loop in Chicago, and it provides camps and lessons for arts education. The programs aren't free, but there's scholarships available for anyone who demonstrates financial need. And joining us now is the founder and executive director, Sheila Fortson. Good morning. Good to be with you.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being here. So we'll talk about your event coming up in just a second. But first, you started Fame Center in 2018. Tell us about what inspired you. What made you say we need this here in Chicago?
Yeah, absolutely. My first job out of college was working in Cabrini Green with students. And I grew up being able to take piano and violin lessons. But I know the powerful healing of the arts. And so just working with students in under-resourced community, I knew that it would be life-changing for them as well. So I wanted to provide that opportunity for any student who would see their life in the arts.
And you know, as we know, some of the first programs to get cut when
Yes.
school districts are fighting, you know, for funding are the arts. So
Absolutely.
What sort of programs and services do you offer to your students?
Yeah, so FAME is an acronym for Fortson Arts and Music Education, and there are 6 pillars. So it's music, visual art, theater, creative writing, coding, and then for mental health, music and art therapy.
Oh, wow.
So those are the disciplines that we offer.
That's amazing. And you mentioned a word that really caught my attention. It's access. And giving that access is so important, especially to the arts and these programs that you said are getting cut. So you provide scholarships, right, that
Absolutely.
offer financial assistance. How does that work? Who weighs in on this? Who gives to make this happen?
Yeah, so we've never turned a student down who was interested in lessons or art classes, and they just fill out an application for financial aid, and we make sure that they're able to come in. If they need an instrument, we make sure that they have an instrument. So we've provided instruments for hundreds of students, and we're excited just to be able to provide access to music and art. We have a camp coming up, and one of the things we're really trying to do is raise $40,000 for students on the south and west side to be able to come to camp for free. We provide breakfast and lunch, and so that's what we're excited about doing this year.
Well, that's such a great segue into my next question. And there is this Saturday a fundraiser called Rhythm and Roots. It's at Fame, at the Fame Center. But why don't you tell us about the fundraiser and where the money raised will go? I'm assuming some of it will definitely go to camp.
Absolutely. Actually, every penny will go toward our scholarships for our students. And we want to bring in 60 kids. We want to raise $40,000. Right now we have spring break camp going on. So we have almost 50 kids in spring break camp this week. But we want to make sure that this summer students have a safe place to go. $40,000, 60 kids, and we want to bring them in for the entire summer so they have a safe place to learn music and arts.
Well, tell us about the event.
Yeah.
What's taking place there?
So we're going to be honoring 10 women in Chicago, 10 influential women, giving them an impact award. We're going to have a live band. We're going to have a spoken word artist, but we're just going to celebrate Women's History Month. We're going to celebrate music and art, but we're excited to raise this money for our students to be able to have a safe place this summer. So they'll be able to take theater classes. They'll be able to take music classes. They'll be able to do painting and visual arts. So they'll be busy. They'll be busy all all summer.
And we're seeing some photos of your students, the ages?
Yeah, so the summer camp starts at 4, it goes up to 14. But we work with students from birth all the way to the end of life. We actually do some work in senior care facilities as well.
So lastly, before we go, I imagine now, since you've been doing this for 7 years, that you have some pretty cool success stories too of what kids go on to do after this.
Yeah, we absolutely do. So we have students who have gone off to Northwestern and gotten degrees in musical theater. We have students who are now in high school, who started when they were little, who are now in high school and singing in their high school choir and still performing piano and violin. We've seen students heal through the pandemic who have lost parents to the pandemic, who are still in our program and healing through the arts and art classes. So we absolutely do have so many success stories, and we want to see so many more.
I know. I hope it just continues to multiply. Sheila Fortson, thank you so much for being with us from the Fame Center. We appreciate you joining us and sharing more about the programs. And for you watching, if you're thinking, I really want to help with this, you can learn more about Rhythm and Roots event and the Fame Center on the website famecenter.org.
And now let's toss it over to Laura Bannon, who could talk about what we can expect weather-wise today.
Yeah, we're eventually going to see some rainy conditions developing late week, but today is the cool, less windy day. We finally got a break in that department. Some shower chances are coming this way, developing Thursday weekend. We do have some elevated chances for showers and thunderstorms. I do have a 20% chance for rain. We're mostly seeing that off toward the far west and south here this morning. Most of the Chicago area is dry right now, but that will change once we head through Thursday. The better rain chances and thunderstorms are expected from Saturday and into Sunday. Even Friday morning could hear some rumbles of thunder. Looking at some sunshine here this afternoon. Quiet, cool weather again for tomorrow. Today, tomorrow, we're coolest along the lakefront. Those clouds will increase going into Thursday morning, popping a couple of showers here for the start of Thursday, but we do see at least some better rain chances for the afternoon into the evening. Going into Friday morning as well, there's likely a chance for some showers and thunderstorms to start the day. Now, the rain that I mentioned earlier that's in the vicinity is off toward the south and west. You see that's going to be exiting here soon. You see the back shield of that. That's giving us lots of clouds. So those clouds will clear. We get a brighter sky for the afternoon. 39 in the Loop, 38 Waukegan, upper 30s DeKalb and Aurora, Joliet sitting at 42. Slight wind chill, winds though manageable compared to where we were yesterday. In from the northwest between 10 and 15. Go to a high today at Chicago O'Hare of 51. Along the lakefront, definitely going to be feeling the chill. 43 today in the Loop, 48 to Valparaiso, out toward LaPorte, 45 this afternoon. Tonight, 32 degrees. 7-day forecast, increasing chance of rain, but then also increasing temperatures. By Friday, we go to a high of 72 degrees. Nice and dry out there for commuters. Chris, how's our traffic looking at the hour?
Nice and dry and a beautiful day to do lots of road work. Yeah, great. I took my spring break last week. Now all the kids have their spring break this week, and it shows. Well, the parents not having to deal with the kids right now, or at least taking them to and from school. You can see that our rush hour is basically drained away to almost nothing, except, and always there's an except, right there. Of course, it's the Kennedy with the ongoing road work that started last week and throughout, all the way from the Ohio feeder out to the junction. It's a parking lot, both directions, so a lot of people jump over to DuSable Lakeshore Drive, and we have just now cleared up a crash that had the southbound side solid from Wilson all the way down through Fullerton. 2 left lanes are blocked. There were injuries there. They've just moved that out of the way, so that's going to ease up now, and that's going to do a lot. But sliding south, we've got fire activity on the north side. There's something going on the bike path there just to the east of DuSable Lakeshore Drive for your solid all the way from the Museum of Science and Industry at 57th up to 47th. Barely moving, right lanes out. Chris Habermill, CBS News, Chicago.
All right, Chris, thank you. Well, next, from Lollapalooza to Beyonce, back at Soldier Field, it is a busy year for live music in Chicago. While the Better Business Bureau says that means you should be extra careful when you buy tickets.
Dana and Audrina, good morning to you from Hoffman Estates and I Smell Bacon Barbecue. This place opened up last Labor Day weekend. I'm here with Roberta, who's the general manager. They don't just smoke the meat here at I Smell Bacon Barbecue. They also smoke the old-fashioned, so it smells really good in here, just like the name says. Coming up in about 20 minutes, we're going to be showing off some of the food, and we're going to be showing off how to make a fresh coleslaw that you can do at home as well. So we'll see you right after the break.
In the South Loop today, a Tiffany window at Second Presbyterian Church is getting a major restoration. The balcony window stands over 16 feet high and is made up of over 12,000 individual pieces of glass. Right now, the glass is covered in dirt, though, making the design difficult to see. It makes sense given it's 132 years old and has been untouched for over a century. Here's a look at the removal process from the last Tiffany window they restored in 2023. Church leaders say the restoration process could take up to a year. And it's an annual tradition for families to gather around the tree in the Walnut Room at Macy's. But now the State Street retailer hopes you'll do the same thing with the Easter Bunny. The bunny hops into Macy's this Friday. Customers can make a reservation to meet the Easter Bunny and snap a photo during a bunny brunch at the Walnut Room. The springtime fun lasts until April 19th. And spring break trips can mean hopping into the family minivan or boarding a plane for a fun getaway.
No pun intended, I don't think.
Not at all.
But some high schoolers in the north suburbs are enjoying a little taste of the Big Easy for their week off. Check out the Mundelein High School Band performing at Jackson Square right in the heart of the French Quarter in New Orleans. One of our producers, Zach Spector, was there, spotted them playing. They are there to enjoy the area, plus learn some new New Orleans style music. Well, a lot of people are making summer plans to see their favorite singers and their favorite bands.
But before you buy those tickets, the Better Business Bureau is reminding you to be on the lookout for scams. From the 4 days of Lollapalooza to the quieter concerts of Ravinia or the Beehive looking for tickets to see Beyonce, there's a lot to choose from this summer, but that also means more opportunities for scammers to exploit eager fans. So what can you do? Well, buy tickets at the box office or the official site. Only deal with secure websites that start with HTTPS and have a lock symbol in the address bar. Use payment methods that come with protection, like a credit card. Watch out for high transaction fees. And search ratings and reviews on BBB, that's Better Business Bureau, BBB.org.
Well, next at 9:30, workers with the Environmental Protection Agency planning a walkout today.
And lawmakers gathering today in support of student and pro-Palestine activist Mahmoud Khalil, what they're calling for as he remains detained by ICE.
This is CBS News Chicago.
Good morning and good to be with you. I'm Adrina Sinclair.
And I'm Dana Kozlov. It is almost 9:30. Thanks so much for staying with us. Well, this half hour, we are following a possible break in a decades-old missing persons case. Divers found a car that could provide some answers, and we are expecting an update from police in about 30 minutes.
But let's start this half hour with your first alert forecast. A little cool, but not as windy today, and it's nice to see a little bit of sunshine peeking in here and there.
Meteorologist Laura Bannon is in the First Alert Weather Center now with what we can expect. Laura?
Hey there. Yeah, no, nice and quiet here across Chicago. We've got some filtered sunshine and also at least some thicker clouds across parts of the area. Do have some rain in the vicinity, but that's not happening out at O'Hare and Midway. 39 degrees this morning at O'Hare, Midway 41. Winds are on the lighter edge of the scale coming in from the northwest at 6. Feels like it's 37, which beats the teens that we had yesterday at this time. 30s and 40s now, colder to Valparaiso at 34. The rain that we have out there is well off toward the south and west. Will be eventually exiting the area, and as it does so, we'll see brighter skies for the afternoon. Temperatures will move through the 40s into the lowermost 50s here this afternoon.
All right, Laura, thank you for that. Well, developing this morning, investigators and divers are heading back to the Fox River to recover a vehicle.
They believe it belongs to Karen Sheepers, an Elgin woman who disappeared 42 years ago. Darius Johnson is live at the Gail Borden Public Library in Elgin, where police are expected to speak in the next half hour. Good morning, Darius.
Hey there, ladies. Good morning to you. Behind our cameras, something that you are not seeing on camera right now is essentially a command post for Elgin Police Department. It's basically a block of police with kind of a mobile command unit. They have all been standing by as they wait to talk to us at about 10 o'clock this morning. And then further behind us, you can see that, I'm not sure if you're able to see this from the shot or not, there's a Elgin Fire Department water rescue and recovery team that's standing here near the Fox River. Again, at 10 o'clock this morning, they will be speaking to us, and then shortly after that, we're expecting them to go back into the water in hopes of pulling out that vehicle that they believe to belong to Karen Sheeper. Take a look. It was April 16th, 1983, when 23-year-old Karen Sheepers disappeared. She was last seen at a bar in Carpentersville and never made it home. After 42 years, investigators from the Elgin Police Department continued their search yesterday along the banks of the Fox River. A group called Chaos Divers assisted using sonar technology and divers. After hours of searching, crews believe they located Karen's 1980 bright yellow Toyota Celica in the river. We spoke to Karen's brother, who says he remembers their father searching for Karen by plane, but he doesn't remember investigators doing as much as they are today to find his sister. Here we are 42 years later. He says he's still waiting for answers.
There's no good outcome to this, I don't think, or not 100% good, but one outcome would be better than all the scenarios that I can imagine.
Again, back out here live this morning, investigators have yet to say what is inside that vehicle. I believe they are waiting to pull it out to be able to examine it and then go from there. We, again, are hoping to hear from them at 10 o'clock this morning. We will be streaming that press conference live, so you can watch everything there, and then we'll be live at 11 with the latest information that they've provided. We're live in Elgin. I'm Darius Johnson, CBS News Chicago.
Darius, thank you. Aurora police released body camera video showing last week's deadly shooting by police officers.
And we brought you this breaking news last Wednesday. You may remember that shootout shut down the neighborhood for hours there. Well, we have this new video, but we do want to warn that some of it may be difficult to watch. There's an interaction happening with police here. You can see the car speeding away from the officers as it turns on its squad car lights. That vehicle matched a vehicle that dragged and injured a Geneva officer earlier in that night. Aurora officers spotted it and started to chase. Now, eventually, they used their spike strips to puncture the car's tires, and then here's the moment when they surrounded that vehicle.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground!
You can see the driver, identified as 19-year-old Christopher Lepe, appear to be holding some kind of long gun when he was shot. Lepe died from his injuries. That shooting still remains under investigation.
A family wants to see security camera footage after a woman's body was found on the roof of Vista East Hospital in Waukegan. Chelsea Adolphus died of hypothermia after somehow winding up on the roof January 23rd wearing only her hospital gown. Her attorneys asked for transparency in this case. They want the security footage so her family can see what happened. Loved ones also gathered with a cake to celebrate what would have been Chelsea's 29th birthday.
Happy birthday to my beautiful sister, Chelsea Adolphus. Me and my family have to sit here for the rest of our life on the date of March 24th to ask ourselves, where is Chelsea? What time is Chelsea coming to blow her candle out?
Attorneys are asking anyone who was at Vista East on January 23rd to come forward if they have information about what happened. And a 15-year-old boy is now charged in the brutal murder of a 16-year-old girl. The body of Kayla Love was discovered at a playground in East Garfield Park last Monday. Police say she'd been beaten and stabbed around a dozen times in the face and neck. Her family says she went to McDonald's Sunday and never returned. It's not yet clear who the teen arrested is or what his connection to the victim is. Relatives are still questioning the response from Chicago police as well. Now, the 11th Police District Councilwoman says officers did not properly investigate the crime scene and claims that they responded to calls of a woman being assaulted in the park, but did not get out of their patrol cars to investigate. Her family wonders if Love could have been saved had someone found her sooner.
Illinois Congresswoman Deli Ramirez is among several members of Congress now calling for the release of Mahmoud Khalil. He is a U.S. permanent resident who organized pro-Palestinian protests at Columbia University, and he was taken into custody by ICE back on March 8th and is now at a detention center in Louisiana, accused of spreading Hamas propaganda. Ramirez led a press conference this morning demanding due process and urging all Americans to fight to protect the First Amendment.
We are a nation that passionately defends our basic constitutional rights of free speech and due process, and those rights are essential to who we are and how we sustain a democracy and resist wannabe dictators.
This is a moment that should alarm all of us.
If we do not stand up and fight for Mahmoud's freedom today, the lawless Trump administration will come for us all. All of our rights are under attack at this moment.
Khalil and his wife are expecting their first child next month. He has not been charged with the crime. Well, employees at the Environmental Protection Agency in Chicago are planning a walkout today, and they say it's part of a national day of action to preserve the agency amid recent cuts from the Trump administration. The Chicago EPA union, the largest in the country, is demanding adequate staffing and funding. They focus on making sure we have clean air and water, as well as responding to climate disasters like wildfires and hurricanes. This video here is from another protest they held following last month's firings. Their march begins at noon outside the Chicago EPA office. Meanwhile, local aviation workers spoke yesterday about the Trump administration's changes and planned cuts to the Transportation Safety Administration.
Do you really want to get on a plane if TSA isn't completely functional?
The focus of this rally last night was a move by the White House to strip union rights from TSA workers, including ending a collective bargaining agreement for them. Workers insist strong contracts help keep flying safe by retaining reliable employees. Several unions have filed lawsuits over the move. Well, spring cleaning is more than just about a fresh start. It's also good for our mental health.
Coming up, we talk to a clinical psychologist about the positive impact it can have and where to start if you're feeling overwhelmed.
And a new barbecue spot in Hoffman Estates is the vision of a retired police lieutenant. We're back live with a look at the food there.
And we stay on the cooler side, at least in the short term, but there's a warm up ahead for the end of the week. When the 70s return and for how long? After the break.
All right, the polls are now live in the tournament to find Chicago's top dog.
We're looking for who serves up the best hot dog in town. The Sport Peppers 16 bracket has 8 matchups now, and you can help decide who moves on to the Onion 8. Bless you. Just head to our CBSChicago.com and search Top Dog to make your selections, and you have until noon Thursday to vote.
Speaking of brackets, in the official March Madness tournament, the Sweet 16 is set, but it's not teams that a lot of people thought would be there.
A lot of brackets are busted. About 34 million people filled out their brackets on various platforms before the tournament started, but right now, not a single entry picked all of the teams correctly. Blame wins by Creighton, BYU, and Kentucky. In our bracket challenge, Kylie Miller is in the lead, followed by Laura. I'm in 5th. And Audrina is, well, she's there somewhere.
I'm there.
Kind of at the end.
Maybe last.
The men's March Madness games hit the courts again on Thursday.
Well, in today's Jumpstart, we're at a new barbecue spot owned by a retired Hoffman Estates police lieutenant.
I Smell Bacon Barbecue and Pub opened in October, and Jackie Kostick joins us live from Hoffman Estates with a look at the restaurant and, of course, how the name came to be. Good morning, Jackie.
Dana and Audrina, good morning to you. We've got a little bit of a Beyonce win now coming in. Mark Mueller just turned on a fan over there, so I'm feeling it in my hair. Mark, good morning to you once again.
Good morning.
Okay, so let's tell the story one more time about I Smell Bacon Barbecue. How'd you come up with that name?
Well, being a retired police officer, when, growing up, when the police would come by, it's kind of a fun thing to be like, hey, I smell bacon. But kind of a fun play on words and some of the stuff that we serve here.
So you can laugh about that.
Of course, you gotta laugh about it.
Yeah, you gotta laugh about it. Let's get into the making of the coleslaw. This is something that is served with just about everything here. So you've got some ingredients out. What do you have? How do you whip it up?
Super simple as it is. This is just fresh shredded cabbage and carrots.
Yep.
So you start with this as the base. Now, some people put in red cabbage as well. Up to you. Color is this.
Yep.
This, in this mixture that ends up as this, it's literally, it's mayonnaise, it's just very, very simple red wine or apple cider vinegar and some apple juice.
Okay.
Again, to taste.
Super
whatever
simple.
you like it.
Yes.
Now, what we do is we'll mix this in as regular.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And then, if we want it spicy, we have some fresh chopped serrano peppers.
Ooh.
Peppers are a little bit different. Serrano gives some nice heat. Habaneros we use a lot. It's more of a back end heat.
Yes.
Jalapenos are kind of, up or down whether they're hot.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's it. Mix that in.
I love
Very
it.
simple. Fresh. Everybody can do this at home. There's no, and inexpensive. There's no need to spend a lot of money. This is a cold, fresh coleslaw. Super simple.
looks delicious. Speaking of things that you can make from home, you started smoking meat and making grilling meat at home before you started this restaurant, well before you started this restaurant. What did you learn in that process, sort of cooking for friends and family, that you've taken into your restaurant?
You know what, so much. And a lot of trial and error, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's why there are so many little barbecue places, or around Chicago, around that area, guys like me that are like serving their own areas. There was no real barbecue around here, so it kind of fell into play. But a lot of the stuff we tried, a lot of stuff we have here is stuff that we like to eat, and we named it a certain way or made our own ingredients as we go, and we're still kind of adapting. So.
I mean, you got to look at this sandwich. This is the deconstructed version of this sandwich. That's called the General. It's named after a longtime friend of Mark's. What is on that sandwich?
We have some spicy sausage. Again, use whatever you want. Pulled pork, coleslaw, fried potato salad, and then we have our Toronto bread, of course, fresh Toronto bread, and then some barbecue sauce.
Okay.
But mix it if you don't like pork, use chicken. You want to put brisket on it, put brisket. That's the fun thing. This is all leftover stuff you can have at your house. You have it at your house, make a fun sandwich for your friends.
Catering has become a really big part of your business, so much so that you're actually considering investing in a truck that you can start taking bigger orders out to people. How special is that to be able to serve people for their parties and all things like that?
You know what, it does, it means a lot. So, being a lot of firsts, even Thanksgiving, we're at home with our families thinking about how many families are eating our food at night, and that's kind of special. So yes, we're trying to get a van, we're trying to do what we can do, because you got graduation, weddings, all that stuff coming up, and we're getting ready.
I love that the holidays, people too can then just enjoy the holiday with their family. They don't have to spend the entire day in the kitchen whipping up something. They can just get some catering, enjoy the meal, and that's that.
Absolutely. We had one of our customers came to thank us and said, this is the first time in 15 years I was able to enjoy the holidays with my family. So that
gotta make you feel so good.
It was great.
I love it. So people can come out here to Hoffman Estates, enjoy the I Smell Bacon barbecue. You guys also have a lot of events that are happening. You can see the Thursday nights, the trivia that people play. You're also having a comedy show right here in the restaurant soon, right?
We are. So the first Friday of April and of May, it'll be by reservations, but it's called the Pub and Grub Comedy Tour.
Pub and Grub Comedy Tour.
Thought it'd be something fun to do. We'll close down the restaurant after 6. Private seating, but some food, some drinks. We seat about 60, but you saw Roberta's drink. We have full bar.
Yes.
We got slots in the corner, so a little bit of stuff for everybody to do.
I love it. Mark, last question for you. What do you end up eating the most of from your own restaurant?
You know what? The funny thing is, most of the days we don't eat because we're running around. But even the little stuff, I love our wings. They're smoked and then like fried quick. But our brisket and ribs, everything's just so fresh. It's usually that's what we do. We're like picking and stuff as we go.
Yes. Okay. Mark, thank you so much for your time this morning, and congratulations on building up this restaurant. It opened Labor Day weekend, so it hasn't been here too long in Hoffman Estates, but you got to come check it out. They've got everything you could ever want, and the I Smell Bacon name really goes in both ways. Obviously, the story that Mark told, but when you come here, the first thing you think is that it smells so good when you walk in the door. Ladies, back to you.
Awesome. He's got the slots, the slack of ribs, got all the things. Jackie, thank you.
All of it.
All of it. Well, it is spring cleaning season, and health experts say a little decluttering can be good for your mind. A clinical psychologist at the Cleveland Clinic says it can give our brains a boost, manage stress, and elevate our mood. It can also help us have a sense of accomplishment, which also just feels good, right? Doctors say the key is to focus on small set of goals, not just take on the big ones all at once. Getting this done, getting the easiest thing done first, and not let procrastination get in the way.
It's really an opportunity to kind of get out of that hibernation mode. Cleaning up the house can feel like a sense of rejuvenation and kind of restarting, which can be a wonderful feeling, especially after the long months of winter.
He also recommends taking advantage of days when you have more energy and get the help of others to get it done.
So I think when he says start small, I'll start with the junk drawer in my kitchen.
Perfect.
You know what I mean? Like that one drawer, and I'll be like, all right, let's get to it. What's in there?
But once, it doesn't seem that bad until you start pulling everything out. You're like, wow, whoa, it's everywhere. Now I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah, and then you got to take it somewhere.
Well, you know what though I do when I do that? I actually put it in piles, like to file, to throw out, to whatever. And I actually don't. It makes me feel better when I have it all spread out, because then I do one thing at a time. Okay. But it'll take me 2 hours to do the one drawer. 2 hours.
How big is this drawer?
It's not that big. But that's how much stuff there's in it.
Like this big.
No, it's probably
just one of those drawers
big
that
and this high, but
I can't get it open. I can't get it open.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun little task to do.
We need to go and see what's in Dana's drawer.
I feel like Dana, like if you need someone to just throw things out, which it sounds like a need, like I'm your girl.
Oh, I know. I'm so afraid to invite you over because all of a sudden, I mean, no. I'm so attached to that, Laura.
I know.
Yeah.
Does it bring me joy? Nope. It's got to go.
Oh, and I'd be like, yes, and yes, and yes, and yes. So, yeah, got a long road ahead of me.
It's all right. We'll worry about that another day. About that, right?
Fair.
For now, we've got like little spurts of sunshine, just a little bit out there, which is helpful because it was so dreary to start the morning.
Yeah, so we're going to be hoping for some sunshine by the end of the week, too, when we turn to a wetter pattern. We've got some more shower and thunderstorm chances picking up every day starting Thursday. That goes into the weekend. But here's that live look outside, like Audrina was just saying. You get some glimmerous sunshine and some blue showing up out west, out toward DeKalb. Live camera view thanks to NIU Meteorology. We're coolest along the lakefront for today, tomorrow. Highs going up into the 50s. Thursday, shower chances are back again. Better chances for showers and thunderstorms at times for the weekend. We do have a little rain in the area here this morning, but most of the area is dry. But that's going to be changing as those rain chances ramp up through Saturday, Sunday. So there's that batch of rain I was just talking about, mainly out toward LaSalle County. DeKalb County has had a little bit of sprinkle activity, some light rain showers, but we're dry through the day today. Tomorrow, Thursday in the morning hours is when a couple of showers will start to develop. Few and far between. The better rain chance will come through for Thursday afternoon, and then Thursday night into Friday. We get these waves of showers and possibly some thunderstorms as early as Friday in the morning. But once that clears out, we're actually in for a fairly warm Friday. Temperatures are expected to head back up into the 70s. Lots of clouds right here, but again, some breaks. We have those showers well to the south and west. That's going to be moving out of here, and as it does so, we get some more sun here today. 38 Waukegan, 40 McHenry, 43 out toward Joliet, 51 here this afternoon with cooler lakefront readings in the lowermost 40s in the loop today. A chilly 43, 47 Waukegan, mid-50s Joliet to Kankakee, and middle upper 40s for northwest Indiana. Tonight, 32 degrees for the low. We're dry again for tomorrow, milder 54 near 60 on Thursday, 72 for a high on Friday. Oh, let's go over to First Alert Traffic. Hi, Chris.
Hi, Laura. It's a great day to do lots and lots of road work, and they are doing lots and lots of road work. We've got a fine selection of things going on, and we've got all flavors of slow, slower, and slowest. So let's go ahead and take a look at the maps. You will see a lot of red popping up there, predominantly the Kennedy, of course, but we also have a crash cleanup on DuSable Lakeshore Drive, new road work up. It looks like it's moving now, outbound on the Bishop Ford, and more on the outbound side of the Stevenson. To the Kennedy we go. That's the king of the hill here. You can see that it's just a nonstop nightmare both directions. So why don't you jump on, let's say, Elston, maybe even Milwaukee. Milwaukee was not too terribly populated this morning anyway. Crash cleanup continues southbound to DuSable Lakeshore Drive before Fullerton. 2 left lanes are out, backed up solid from Addison. Outbound Bishop Ford off the Rhine, what a mess. It's all the way down by 103rd. At least the lane is blocked there. And they're patching divots on the outbound side of the Stevenson before LaGrange Road, and that's solid from right before First Avenue out to that point. Have a great day, everybody. Drive safe. Let's be nice to each other. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. Here's a look at the stories that we're keeping an eye on today.
Chicago police are questioning a person of interest in the shooting death of a 13-year-old boy. This happened just before 7 last night on 65th Place near Stewart in an Inglewood home. Right now, police are not revealing the circumstances that led up to the shooting. Investigators are only saying that a gun was discharged in that home last night.
Search crews believe they found the car belonging to a woman who has been missing for over 40 years, and they plan to pull it from the Fox River today. Elgin police and a group called Chaos Divers began a new search for Karen Sheepers. She's been missing since 1983 and was last seen at a bar in Carpentersville.
And employees at the Environmental Protection Agency in Chicago are planning a walkout today as part of a national day of action to what they say preserve the agency amid recent cuts from the Trump administration. Their march begins at noon outside the Chicago EPA office.
Cool weather for a couple of days here before we get a spring warm up. By Friday, a high of 72. It's warm too throughout the weekend, dodging some showers and thunderstorms. Not an all-day rain when you look at these increased rain chances. Still going to have some dry time to enjoy the warm weather, which has been on hold for some time now, but still. Yeah, where's it been?
We had that teaser a few weeks ago on that Friday. Remember how beautiful it was? And we're like,
last Friday.
This is it.
Wasn't that last? That was last Friday.
No, but remember the it might have been. No, remember the really warm day we had a couple weeks ago too?
Yes.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, this is it, and here we are, and then
it's always
and then it
like
snowed.
I know. March is just brutal.
It's mean.
It is.
Anyway.
Meanwhile, Phoenix is going to be like 100 degrees or something.
Well, there's that.
There's like heat waves coming on the west side. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for being with us
crazy.
as we just chat. Have a great one, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.